When I say sit in a comfortable position, that is whatever's comfortable for you. So if you need to prop yourself up with a pillow or put something underneath your bum, then you can, because what that does is it just helps to lengthen out your spine. So like if you sit on the edge of something, you find that you start sitting taller. So whatever position is comfortable for you. And today I wanted to start off with a breathing exercise called Nadi Shodhana. So if you haven't done this before, I'll just give a quick introduction to that. If you have, then you can crack on because you'll know what you're doing. So this is alternate nostril breathing, and it's made to balance out the body. So you've got the left side of the body, which is really cool. That's your cooling side. You've got the right side of your body, which is your heated side, your sun side and your moon side. And we're going to block off each nostril so that we can bring balance to the body. So if, like me, you're a little bit snotty in the mornings, see if you can do this. If you have got a blocked nose, just come to a natural breath for a moment, okay? You can maybe start deepening your inhales and your exhales, but obviously you can't block it off if you can't breathe through one side. So you can use your thumb and your index finger, or the traditional way to use it is to bend down your index finger and your middle finger and use your thumb and your ring finger to block off each side. So whichever you feel comfortable doing. We're going to take a nice big inhale, close off the right side, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left, block the left, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left, exhale through the right. So you just switch it. Inhale through the right, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left, exhale through the right. One more time. Inhale through the right, exhale through the left. So you're always exhaling on the opposite side. So you exhale, inhale, and then the other side, exhale, inhale. So that just evens out the breath. And you might find that sometimes, like when you wake up in the morning, you might find that you can breathe more easily through the left nostril, your cooling side, because you've been nice and relaxed all night. In the evening, you might notice that you can breathe better through your right side because you've had energy. It's just really interesting to notice these things. So maybe during the day today, maybe notice which side you can breathe better out of. And if you do feel a little bit unbalanced, then do this exercise. It's really, really good before bed as well, because if you have got too much heat, too much hot energy, you know, doing this, balancing it out, just brings that cooling side up a little bit. So yeah, that's a little bit of an intro to some pranayama. Obviously there are a million different, well not a million, but there are a lot of different techniques that you can use. So let's start with the yoga. So we're going to come to a seated position. Take the left leg long, bend the right foot in. So you want to kind of get your heel as far into your groin as you can. If you can't, it's absolutely fine. Bring it out a little bit further, okay? But we don't want any kind of knee pain here. If you do feel like your leg is a little bit heavy, it's a little bit uncomfortable, you can always get a prop or something, or a book, or if you do have a yoga block, to place underneath your knee. Okay, so just bring it in to where it's comfortable for you. We're going to inhale the arms up, turn your torso so you're facing over the left leg, and then with length in your spine, so trying to keep your spine nice and long, fold forward. Okay, so that might mean that you don't go forward very much, but just go forward as far as you can with length in your spine until you feel some kind of sensation. Okay, you could feel this sensation anywhere. Everybody's body's different. Everybody will feel these things in a different place. Just make sure that you're not locking out your knee. So what I mean by that is pushing your knee, the back of your knee, into the mat. So kind of do a slight micro bend, just so that You might even notice the difference actually if you lock your knee out and then slightly loosen it. You might feel a difference in your muscles in where you're feeling this stretch. But we don't want any knee pain, so locking out the knee, it kind of brings all the tension into your bones and into that area, so that's what we don't want to do. So as you're leaning forward here, try and think on every inhale, you lengthen, and every exhale, you see if you can fold a little bit deeper. And then inhale, come back up. Let's take it on the other side. So right leg goes long, left leg bends in. So again, if you need the prop underneath your knee, then do so. It could be anything, you know, if you're at home, grab anything. Inhale your hands up. Turn your torso, so your belly, your chest, to make sure that you're facing over that long leg. So you're not facing over the middle, you're turning to face over this long leg. Exhale, lengthen the spine. Fold forward. So just until you feel a stretch. Remember, try to not lock out that knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. And it's kind of as if you're using your breath as an anchor. So if your mind starts wandering, which is very, very common in yoga, everybody thinks yogis, I should say, are these people who can completely clear their mind. It's not true. We're always thinking about other stuff. It's using your breath as an anchor, so bringing yourself back to that breath, focusing on that inhale and that exhale so that your mind doesn't keep wandering off onto other things. So focus in on your breath. Every exhale, see if you can lean forward a little bit more. And then inhale, come up. So we're going to take the right foot over the left leg for a second. If you don't find this that easy, just sit normally. But what I want you to do, or not normally, but your leg on the floor, I want you to take your left hand and I want you to interlace your fingers with your toes. Now this might feel really strange and it might feel impossible, but try to wriggle your fingers down as far as you can in between your toes. So it's as if you're holding hands with your feet. Get them down as far as you can, and then tense your fingers and your toes, so it's as if you're clenching your hands, and loosen them. Clench, loosen. And just keep doing that for a second. So it's amazing how in our bodies everything is linked up. And you'll know this if you've ever been in an accident or if you've ever hurt yourself. Like, one part of your body could be hurting, but the problem could be something else. It could be somewhere else. And it's kind of like if you imagine, say you've hurt your side here and you're scrunching up your t-shirt, you've got all this tension coming from this side. Okay, so you need to work on this side to loosen that tension that's caught up here. And it's amazing how much can come from our feet. I think loads of people have heard this, you know, you've got so many nerve endings in your feet, you know, you press certain bits and it affects your kidneys, your livers or whatever. So just a little exercise, a second. So just stop clenching your toes now, let them go, stand up and reach your hands over your head. And just see if your right arm feels longer. Mine feels longer. I don't know if it looks longer right now. The recording takes a while to catch up, but definitely feels longer on that side. So strange. So come back down and let's just try that on the other side. So the left foot with the right hand, fingers in between. Tense your toes and tense your fingers. And release, and tense, and release. See if you can wiggle your fingers down a little bit further. And it is going to feel really, really strange. It is. But this is a really good thing to do, like while you're sat watching TV or something. This is really, really good for you. So our toes are actually built to work like our hands. If you take babies or toddlers, for example, the movements that they can do with their feet, it's incredible. And we just lose that over time, wearing shoes, and it just all affects it. So it's really, really good to stretch out everything. So I just wanted to start today working on the foundation upwards. So a few more tenses, and then release and stand up. And now hopefully they should be feeling even. Mine are definitely feeling even. Difficult to tell. But yeah, let me know in the comments if that actually worked for you guys. Anyway, come back down to the mat. Proper yoga time. All fours, hands and knees. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Your wrists are going to be shoulder width apart, so they're directly underneath your shoulders, and your hips are above your knees, so your knees are hips distance apart. We're going to loosen the belly, so drop the belly, look just slightly forwards, okay? We're not looking up here, we're just looking towards the top of our mat. Just loosen the belly, so it feels as if you're sticking your bum out. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone, belly button draws to spine, push the mat away with your hands and tuck your chin. So it's like you're this scared cat. Inhale, reverse. So drop the belly, bum sticks out, look towards the top of your mat. Exhale, reverse. Scared cat. And just do a couple of these at your own pace. We all breathe at different rates. I don't want you to struggle with your breath because you're trying to keep up with me. Try and take it as slow as you can. Nice gentle movements this morning. I'm aiming for this class to finish at about 10:15, but 10:15 by the way. In case any of you are needing to get anywhere. And then come back to neutral. I want you to take your hands out slightly past the shoulders, tuck your toes, hover your knees off the floor, push your belly button towards your thighs so your chest is reaching back towards your thighs, and then lift your bum up to the sky. Now if you do it in this order, so you're pushing your chest to your thighs and then your bum up to the sky, your knees will still be bent, but you will have really, really nice length in your spine, which is the whole point of downward facing dog, okay? And I know everybody says to try to get the heels to the mat. That is not the case, okay? What you can do is once you're in this position, straighten one leg, take a nice inhale and exhale, rebend it, straighten the other, just so you're stretching the outer edges of the leg here, but you're not just trying to reach your heels as far as you can to the mat, okay? This is downward facing dog. Bent knees, bum up, that is still downward facing dog. And if you really, really struggle with this pose, a nice thing to do is just to find a wall, hands up against it, and do this. This is still downward facing dog. Okay, so find whatever position works for you. It's just really, really nice to paddle out the legs. I don't think I'm ever still in downward facing dog. I'm always paddling out the legs. I've just realised I haven't given an introduction to myself either. So, hi, I'm Leah. I've been doing yoga for about 8 years now. Did my yoga teacher training last year in the midst of a pandemic, as you do. I thought, what better time? Everybody needs yoga right now. Okay, bend in the knees, look in between your hands. Just step as many steps as you can, just towards the top of your mat, feet hips distance apart, forward fold. So in a forward fold, we got a nice bend in the knees. The upper body is completely loose. You can shake your head yes and no. Doesn't matter how bent your knees are as well. as long as the whole upper body is relaxed here. And then very slowly roll all the way up to standing. Head is the last thing to come up. And then roll your shoulders back. So now you're in Tadasana pose, mountain pose, at the top of your mat. So mountain pose. Feet hips distance apart. If you don't know what hips distance is, if you find the bony parts of your hips and look down, that's your hips distance. You want to lift your toes, spread your toes, remember, really strong foundation. Spread your toes, place your little toe down, then try and do the next one, then the middle one, then the next one, until you get to your big toe, and then notice how spread they are. Okay, this is going to give you a really nice solid foundation to work from. Slight bend in the knees, again, just so you're not locking out, you're not pushing your knees to the back of the room. Slight bend. Head over pelvis, pelvis over feet, roll the shoulders back, reach your hands down to the floor, then relax them slightly. And then feel as if you've got a string on top of your head, you've probably heard this one, pulling you up, okay? So you've got that really nice, straight, balanced shape. Okay, so this is your mountain pose. So you can take a nice inhale, inhale the hands up above your head. Exhale, fold forward. Now when you fold forward, you can sweep the arms behind you. You can hands together, prayer, and come forward. Just make sure that you come forward with length in your spine, and then when you can't get any further, then you relax and start rounding the back. And again, remember forward fold, slight bend in the knees if you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. So hands come up the legs, lengthen through the spine. So it's like you're this L shape. Remember that downward facing dog against a wall? So hands can be on shins, thighs, blocks, whatever you've got. And then exhale, forward fold, bend in the knees again. Fingertips to the mat. If you can't reach your fingertips to the mat, bend the knees. Right leg is going to step as far back as you can and then lower the right knee. Okay, so you're in your low lunge here. Lengthen through the spine. If you find it hard to lengthen through the spine like this, just come up onto your knee, hands on hips, wherever feels comfortable. As long as you've, again, got length in that spine and you can feel some kind of stretch. So your knees over your ankle with that front foot, but you're feeling some kind of stretch in the hips. So you're letting your hips sink down. So I'm going into quite a bit of detail today with just alignment, because I'm not sure how new some of you guys are to yoga. But even if you have been doing yoga for a while, it's really, really good to hear these tips and get it ingrained in your brain. Okay, and then left knee is going to come back to meet the right. Hands flat on the mat, lean over your hands so you're in a half plank. Lower the chin and the chest, keep your elbows hugging in. So they're not going out to the sides, they're hugging in. So your bum's sticking up, and then slide through baby cobra. So in a baby cobra, your toes are on the mat, which will lift up your knees. If you ground down through your toes, ground down through the pelvis, and then you might notice that your chest starts lifting up. So a baby cobra, you're only slightly lifted like this. You could lift your hands up off the mat. Lower your hands back down, push back onto your knees. Toes together, feet wide, child's pose. So your toes are together, your knees are as wide as the mat. You sit your bum back down to your hips, lean forward so your chest can come down onto the mat. If you can, your head can come onto the mat, or you can rest your head on a block. If this is really uncomfortable, you can get a prop in between your bum and your heels. If you can't quite get your bum to your heels, it just gives you a bit more room to come forward. Or you can take the other version of child's pose where your knees are together and your arms come behind and your head on the floor. Each one will be different for everybody. Just depends how your body's feeling today. So just a quick child's pose there. So just walk your hands back up. Come back into your downward facing dog. So hands slightly further past the shoulders, tuck the toes, belly to thighs, hips to sky. Remember, lengthen through your spine. Push the mat away with your hands. Looking in between the mat, in between your hands. The right leg it's going to come forward in between your hands. So a really good way to do this is if you put your feet together at the back of the mat, raise your right leg up, come onto the fingertips of your right hand, that's going to give you a bit more room, bend your right knee, and then sweep your leg up. So just coming onto the fingertips of your hand can really help give you a little bit more space to get your leg up there. Lower the left knee, low lunge on the other side. So again, if this is uncomfortable, you can come up onto your knee, or you can keep your fingertips to the mat or onto blocks. Again, just lean into them hips so you're feeling something around your thighs and your hips here. I don't know why, but the Facebook Live isn't showing me how many people are here today. I know someone's here because they've been talking. Tuck the toes of the left foot, come up off of the knee, and then just do a few rocks until you come up to the top of your mat, both feet, top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, again, wherever your hands reach. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees even more, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart, Tadasana pose. Okay, so that was a sun salutation. Now there are different versions of sun salutations, but that's the basic one. So we're going to do that on the other side now, adding some more moves into it. So inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen through your spine, open the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Fingertips to the mat. Left foot this time, steps back as far as you can. Lower the left knee. Again, you're in your low lunge. Lengthen through your spine. Keep your fingertips to the mat, or if you need blocks or any props that you've got lying around, you can use them. On your next exhale, I want you to straighten that right leg. Toes can point up to the ceiling, but we just want to feel a nice stretch in the back of the right leg here. Try to keep the spine nice and lengthened, so if you need blocks to come up, then you can use blocks. And focus in on that breath, nice even inhale and exhales. Rebend into that right leg. Right knee comes back to meet the left. Hands flat on the mat. Hover over your hands, half plank. Lower your chin in your chest. Come through, maybe this time into a higher Cobra. So roll the shoulders back. Keep your elbows bent, but just lift up a little bit higher. Exhale, fold forward. Push back up onto your knees. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Maybe bicycle out the legs here if you want. Just always thinking length in the spine. It really does not matter how bent your knees are. And then feet together at the back of the mat. Left leg raises high. So you're keeping your hips parallel to the mat here as well. You're not opening your hips up to the side. You're keeping them nice and flat so your toes point down towards the ground. Fingertips of the left hand, left foot comes in between your hands. Lower the right knee. So again, you're in your low lunge. And push back so that your left leg straightens. So again, you're feeling that nice stretch down the back of the left leg. Come up onto bricks if you need to, or any props that you've got lying around. Remember, focus in on that breath. So yoga is really, really good for, it is good for helping us clear our minds because you're completely focused in the moment on what you're doing. And being present is the most amazing thing that can help your mental health, in my opinion. So rebending into that left leg. Come up onto the toes of your right foot, so lift the knee off the floor. Do a few little rocks, then rock it up to meet the left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way up. Hands come together. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay. Hope you're all still with me. Right leg is going to step back. So you're going to come into a high lunge this time. So hands on hips, your hips are facing towards the top of your mat. Knee over ankle with that left foot. The right leg, just bend the knee and just see if you can feel your tailbone tilting down. If you can, you'll notice that that will stop any arching in your low back. So just you can try to straighten out the back leg again, but if you do and you arch, rebend it. Okay, it's much better to lengthen through the spine instead of having an arch there. You might have a natural arch, that's fine, but you don't want it to be really bendy here. Okay, so low lunge. So inhale, the hands up. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to shuffle back a bit so I don't hit the wall. We're going to put most of our weight over that left leg. The arms are going to come to the side of us. So it's kind of as if we're getting ready to run. Then we're going to lift the back leg off the mat. Okay, so come into a bit of a balanced pose. Warrior three here. It doesn't matter if you fall or wobble, you can come back in. If you're really struggling, you can have blocks. You can hold onto the wall. There is no right or wrong here, as long as you're feeling something, okay? So if you need to hold on to something, that's absolutely fine. You're still going to be working everything. Don't ever think that you're failing. You cannot fail at yoga, okay? You get better and more flexible over time, but it's all about your mind. If you're here, you're doing it, you're concentrating on what you're doing, you are doing yoga, okay? Right leg comes back down. See, everybody wobbles. And then bring the right leg in a little bit closer. So you've only got, I don't know, a couple of feet between your legs here. Hips are still facing the long side, the short side of your mat, so the top of your mat. Left toes are pointing towards the top. The right toes are kind of pointing off to the side, but closer towards the top of your mat, so like a 45-degree angle here, so that your hips can face the top of your mat. Inhale, look up slightly, so you're opening the shoulders. Exhale, fold forward, with length in your spine. When you can't go any further, you can release the hands down to the leg if you want, but don't put any pressure on that leg, just kind of using it as balance. And then look towards your big toe. Slight micro bend in this straightened leg, in your left leg. Just so you're feeling a little sensation somewhere. And remember, we don't want to be feeling any kind of pain. If you're feeling any kind of pain, then come on up. Inhale now, all come up. We're going to bring the hands down to the mat now. So bend your left leg. Hands are going to come down to the mat. If you need blocks, remember you can use blocks. And then lift your right leg up. So a version of standing splits. Now standing splits can look like one straight line, you know, from your foot all the way up to the other foot. For me, I am nowhere near that flexible. So this is my version of standing splits, okay? So use your right leg to really push up as far as you can. So you're folding forward over that left leg, pushing up with that right. And just hold it here. Remember, use your breath as an anchor. Keep bringing your mind to your breath. And then bring your right leg next to your left. Maybe shake out the knees a little bit in your forward fold. Inhale, raise all the way up to standing. Hands come together. Exhale, hands to heart. Left leg this time. So I'm going to face the other way. So left leg steps back, high lunge. Knee over ankle with that front foot. Remember to bend the left knee just to make sure you're getting rid of any arching in your back. Lean over your right leg. Arms come down to the side. Find your balance, ground down through that right leg. When you feel steady, lift that left leg up. Remember, you can hold onto a wall, you can hold onto blocks, You just got this long, nice line of energy from your head all the way down to your left toes here. You can take a slight bend in that right leg if it helps with your balance. Just focus on your breathing. Trying to bring some balance to us all today. And then lowering the left leg down. A couple of feet difference between your feet here. Right leg, right toes pointing towards the top of your mat. Left toes pointing towards like the top left corner. Hips facing the top of your mat. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, fold forward, lengthen your spine. When you can no longer go forward with lengthening your spine, then you can release your hands to your leg, look towards your big toe. But remember, no pressure in this leg, okay? My hands are just on there for balance. I'm not putting any pressure, especially not on your knees. Slight micro bend, just so you're not locking out. And just go to where you feel a sensation. If that's all the way down, go all the way down. If that's up here, stay here. We are all going to be feeling this in different places. Everybody's bodies are different. And that's why I'm saying with these as well, like it doesn't matter how you look in these poses. This is a really good thing about doing it online. You don't compare yourself to other people. That can be so damaging to you. Everybody's bodies are made differently. Some people can do the split. Some people may never ever be able to. Their bones just aren't made to do that. Okay, and then coming on back up, let's do the standing splits again. So fingertips to the mat, so bend into that right knee, fingertips to the mat, lift the left leg up. So your toes are pointing down towards the mat, lift it up as high as you can, okay? So you're folding forward, actively pushing that left leg up. Should be feeling a really nice stretch somewhere here. Again, everyone's going to feel it in different places. For me, it's all down the right leg. When I first started doing yoga, I could touch my knees and that was it. And I'm not even kidding, okay? I know people say that and they're like joking or whatever. I'm not even joking. I was nowhere near touching my toes. Nowhere near. 8 years on, there's no way I'm going to do the splits anytime soon. But it's not about that, okay? It's all about your mind and how you feel. Then lowering the left leg. Again, shake out the legs. Bend into the knees. Very slowly. Bum, back down to the mat. Okay. So let's start cooling down a little bit now. So slowly roll onto your back here. Hug your knees in, nice and tight. And then just give them a few little circles. So grabbing your knees, rolling them one way, just so you're kind of massaging the lower spine here, so right above the bum. And rolling them back the other way. And if you find a spot that feels good, you can always stay there as well and just have a little wriggle in that area. And then bring your feet down to the mat. Take them as wide as the mat. Just going to move that block out of the way. And bring your arms to a cactus shape. So your elbows are in line with your shoulders and your hands are pointing up. Drop your knees over to the left and either stay looking up at the ceiling or you can look over your right shoulder. And just close down the eyes for a moment and really focus all your attention on releasing your muscles in your body. Okay, let go of everything. You've worked really, really hard today. Okay, some of them poses are not beginner poses. We've got a mix of people in the group today, so I added a few different poses in there. But really just relax everything. Bring your knees back up to center. Drop them over to the right, look over the left. And bring them back up to center. Hug your knees in again. Take any final last little movements before we come into our Shavasana. Now, Shavasana is the most important part of our practice, so please do not skip it. Or if you need to skip it, come back to it later, okay? If it's, you really need to, that's where you're going to feel the benefits of this practice, okay? Is in your Shavasana. So we're moving the body, releasing any tension so that we can clear our minds, and meditate is the point of the physical yoga, is to release any energy so that we can sit there and meditate for a longer time. So if you're in quite a cold room, it's really, really good to grab a blanket or something, because you can cool down really, really quickly in Shavasana. Now, there's a few different ways that you can take Shavasana. You can take your legs long, palms face up, and just lie still wherever you are. If you do have any pillows, what's a really good idea is to get something underneath your knees, because doing that will help to keep the lower back on the mat. So if you're like me and when you lay flat, your back arches up, so you've got this gap, just put something underneath your knees and it will just help to keep that back flat. You can also, if you want to get really, really super comfy here, you can, if you've got blocks or anything similar to blocks, you can lay them out like this, put a pillow over them. I don't have a pillow handy right now. And you can use the bottom one for your back, the other one for your head, and just relax this way. And it's just lovely. So however you want, just find your way into a comfortable laying down position and just relax there. And I'm just going to guide you through your Shavasana today. I know some people find it quite hard to just lie there still with no thoughts. So as you're lying here, on every exhale, I want you to feel your body relax even more. So feel as if you're sinking down into the earth. And let's just take a quick body scan. So starting from your toes, just relax any tension out of the toes. Relaxing the feet, relaxing the lower legs, the knees, the thighs, the bum, the stomach, the chest, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the fingers, relaxing the back, the shoulder blades. Just feel your whole body melting into the earth. Softening the jaw, softening the cheekbones, softening the eyes, softening the forehead. Feel the whole face relax. And as you're relaxing here today, I just wanted to read a quick quote from the book, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, which if you haven't heard of is just an incredible book. Do you have any other advice? Asked the boy. So this is the boy talking to the horse. Don't measure how valuable you are by the way you are treated, said the horse. Always remember you matter. You're important and you are loved. And you bring to this world things no one else can. There are so many lovely quotes in that book, but that one I thought that one was perfect for today. So as you're laying here, I want you to repeat this to yourself. I want you to say, I am unique. I am important. I matter. And just know that you are you, and that is your superpower. Nobody can be you. That is your superpower. Just bringing your awareness back into the room. Just take a nice big inhale and sigh it out through the mouth. And slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe moving your head from left to right. Nice and slow, nice gentle movements. And bringing one knee up and then the other. Rolling over onto whatever side of the body you'd like. Very slowly coming up to seated. If you haven't already, then you can blink open the eyes. Take a nice big inhale in, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart, thumbs touch heart center. Namaste. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. I hope you have all enjoyed our practice this morning. Let me know how it is. And yeah, this is just the start of things. So this recording will be saved, so you can even do this every morning if you wanted, do it whenever. And yeah, we'll see, I think Crosby's coming on at 2 for a healthy granola recipe, which I cannot wait for. And then we've got a talk with Courtney later on today, 7 p.m. UK time this is. I'm in the UK, so all the time zone schedule was up on the chat, so just scroll through if you need to find that. And yeah, I will see you all tomorrow again. I think I am on for a meditation. So if you do have any questions at all, please let me know. Just put it in the chat. And yeah, I think that's all I had to say. Just trying to think if I had anything else. So some videos are live, some are pre-recorded as well. So the ones that are pre-recorded, we'll do a quick introduction and then add the link to the video. And then I'm going to put all of these classes, all of these videos in a playlist as well at the end on YouTube, so that you can keep coming back to this. So if you ever need like any time to yourself, you've got this retreat playlist that you can always come back to. Okay, so really, really nice thing to do if you are feeling quite down is say one Sunday or a day that you're free, line up all of these and do it all at once. You know, that is what a true retreat would be like. So completely up to you how you want to do it, but they're all saved, they're all here for you. Oh, my cat Holly's come to say hi. So yeah, I really hope that this can help people. And if you are struggling, or if there's anything that you do want advice or something on, please leave a message in the group. And if I can't answer your questions, we'll get the other girls involved, and yeah, we will do our best. We're here to help you, okay? So thank you all so much for joining, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay, namaste.